From the post-millennial, breaking, active shooter, multiple people shot, including NYPD at 51st and Park Ave in Midtown Manhattan. An active shooter situation has been reported in Manhattan with an NYPD officer reportedly among those shot. Per Fox 5, a heavy police presence was seen in the area of 51st Street and Park Avenue. Witnesses reported hearing gunshots. Police sources told ABC7 that an officer and civilians were shot in the streets outside of 354 Park Ave, where the suspect fled. It is alleged that the shooter had a rifle, semi-automatic rifle, and there are reports that the shooter is down now. Now, I don't know if it's a self-inflicted wound or if it was the police that actually managed to stop the shooter, but the dying is over, apparently. So that's some good news. Let's see. Tom Winters reporting that the New York NYPD is responding to a reported active shooter incident at 52nd and Park Ave, specifically 345 Park Ave. If I understand correctly, it wasn't on the street. It was actually on the 33rd floor of the building. So that leads you to believe that he was after an individual. But again, these are just reports, nothing confirmed. And now we're kind of just pontificating. But there is the obligatory, New York City, these types of rifles are illegal. So you would wonder how one would be able to carry out an attack like that, considering gun control is supposed to have made New York very, very safe. But I don't think that that is actually a reality. So, but I want to know, Elaad, you're from New York. What do you know about the area? What do you know about the laws there, the police response?
I actually worked about a dozen blocks from here when I was younger, like 5, 6 or so years ago. It has a ton of foot traffic. There's a lot of like office buildings there. It's I think it's right off of Lexington, I think it said. But violence in the outer boroughs is a bit common. Like you'll see violence in the outer parts of Brooklyn, East New York, maybe far out in parts of Queens. But like violence like this in Midtown is pretty uncommon, and sad to see all shootings are bad.
Is that because of police presence, or is that because of the fact that it's a lot of people that are there as tourists and stuff? Or
yeah, I guess this is like more of the professional class. This is where there are a lot of good paying jobs here. There's a lot of
neighborhood.
Yeah, this is a very nice neighborhood. It's where most of the offices are in the city. I also think you're going to get a disproportionate amount of coverage of it because these are relatively common, like in the Midtown area. But I don't know, all shootings are bad, obviously. What do you think?
I mean, I did residency in New York, Bronx, Lebanon Hospital, right there in Lower Bronx, where when we got out at night, you had to practically get a hospital car to carry you because guns were flying around. So the neighborhood is important. Like in the Lower Bronx, and some parts of Brooklyn, it's really, really dangerous. But Manhattan is usually better because it's a higher neighborhood. There are people that live there, just like you said, they work better. They work, and then there's more police presence. But every time there's a shooting, it's a sad thing, and we pray for the the families of the victims, and I pray that God would comfort their hearts. But now I live in Texas, and if you showed up with a gun and you're shooting in Texas, somebody's gonna take you out before you shoot more people.
That's right. I don't know if this is such a rare thing in even Midtown over the past 5 or 6 years. I remember New Year's Eve when Tim was there during Times Square. At Times Square, there was a shooting, I think, involved with a police officer. I have family that works on near 7th Ave, Midtown, and there was a shooting there in the daylight. And I have so many family members who work in the city, and they are way more concerned over the past 5 years how it's descended into hell than it has. These are much older people. In Manhattan, yeah. Really? These are like people in hotels in like Midtown area, and they're old enough to remember how Manhattan was in the 70s, which is an insane place. My grandfather was a cop there in the 70s. A lot of my uncles were firefighters there, and their stories were like war stories. You can look up pictures of even Midtown in the 70s, and it looks like a bombed out area, where CBGB's used to be, right? Yeah. It was not a good place in the 70s. A lot of like early tattooers that started there, all that stuff. Good for art, it was really bad to live.
It was even a little bit crazy in the 90s, which is when I first started going to CB's and shows there.
It got cleaned up, and then it got Disneyfied, which is a whole other problem.
And then they took CBGB's apart and moved the whole thing to Vegas, I believe.
Terrible. And now it's like a John Varvatos store, but
yes,
which is just egregious. But like we've been seeing a lot of these stories out of Manhattan. The people being lit on fire in the subways. That unfortunate dead person who was
I think
accosted.
you'll always have shootings in New York City, but I think the past decade has been relatively safe compared to the past. I think there's something here about people chomping at the bit to be prepared to politicize something like this, though. We have been seeing some targeted assassinations. I'm surprised you didn't mention it. I think the most popular recent one was Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
It's not too far from here, where he assassinated the healthcare CEO.
Yep.
So I don't know if people are waiting to see who this is. Maybe, I don't know, we're pontificating, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a messed up love triangle. I don't know. I think I saw a video of him walking in. He had like a long barrel rifle, allegedly.
Well, I mean, yeah, he had it seemed like it looked like it was like an AR-15 style rifle.
Like it.
But we've got this from the Post Millennial. We're going to go ahead and run this video here.
Cover the back. Back up.
Obviously, there was a massive police presence in New York anytime an officer is involved in a shooting.
What is going on
Is she
here?
in cuffs?
The person is still shooting.
I don't think those are shocks.
You think?
I don't.
I was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person,
Oh, she's bleeding from the head.
even if she's cuffed up, I mean that this is
bleeding from her head.
this maybe is a person of interest, but this is not. Yeah, she's cuffed up, but she's
Is that the shooter?
no, that's not the shooter. Not the person that I saw the video or saw pictures of with a rifle.
This guy, he comes out of here with the he's from Palestine. He keeps saying free Palestine. He got his face covered up in the Palestine stuff. He walking out. The police
That's-
don't pay him no mind. I said it's him.
I don't think I don't think that's accurate either,
To the
though.
ground and they got him.
I know. I've seen the picture and it's all over X. We're not going to run the picture of the alleged guy because we have no confirmation, but it's all over X and he wasn't masked. He was dressed well. Looked like he had a jacket on.
But I didn't hear about a second suspect.
I mean,
Until that.
yeah, there's reports of multiple shooters but I have nothing solid that I can actually say.
Yeah.
So the guy that was shooting up on, it was alleged to have happened on the 33rd floor is what I've heard, is what the reports are saying, or what I've seen.
That, yeah.
And whereas if it was on the 33rd floor, I believe it was only one guy, but again, these are early reports and we don't have a whole lot of confirmed information on
It
it.
says lone shooter neutralized as of 20 minutes ago, but that's just bizarre.
And by neutralized, there's reports that it was a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So
Part of this is just the depravity of humanity,
Yep.
and actually, like, you look like New York, like I said, I lived in New York for a while. The New York that I lived in and did residency in is totally different from the New York now. And I know sometimes people get all bent out of shape about, some of our criticism on the politics, or especially of the liberals and their politics. But New York, in the days, there were times when in New York things were a little safer. Right now, beautiful Manhattan, where you could just go around and walk. Everything is getting a little tense in New York.
When were
and
you
I
there?
think that's something. 1995 to 1998.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty. New York was nice. I mean, you could practically. I used to want to live just in Manhattan and eat out of cans until, of course, I moved to Louisiana. But New York was good at that time, And now the place has just developed into some kind of hellhole. So
The buzz in New
it's
York
politics,
is this
yes.
Mamdani guy. What do you think of him?
Who?
The Zorhan Mamdani, like the Democratic candidate for.
I really want
did
to
he
know what
send
I
social workers into this?
The guy is a. You know what's funny about that guy? I don't know whether his coalition can actually like each other. Like on one side they're leftists and on the other side they're kind of jihadists. They don't like each other, so I don't know how they're gonna like get together. Because I'm sure in their rallies they're gonna want like hang each other. So I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know why New York would want to put somebody like that in authority and power, because they need. But that is the world we live in. I'm an immigrant, from my accent, of course. But I came to this country. I love this country, and I want to make this country great again. But when immigrants come to this country and don't want to integrate, don't love the country, I don't think they should be put in position of power, because when you are in a position to legislate, you can cause a lot of harm.
I believe he was only naturalized in 2019 too. He was only recently became a citizen.
Yes, but his ideology is kind of like totally un-American.
And I believe he's Ugandan.
He's from East Africa, yes.
East Africa. Did I make up the Ugandan part?
I don't know what. No,
he went to school in Uganda.
I don't know.
Yeah, his family's from Uganda, and that's where he was to
But his
do his
ideology,
wedding.
social democrats are kind of like dangerous. People should know that. And,
They're-
and then on top of that, he's also a total Islamic, believes in Islamic jihad and Sharia law and all that good stuff. So I don't
that
know
bad
how
stuff?
that too. Oh, it's good for them. So that
Stuck for a
let me be
while.
politically correct and call it good stuff.
So-
between the two coalitions, I don't know how that's gonna work. But I feel sorry for New York. Move out, run.
I did.
No, I think we need to take it back over, but we don't need to get into that whole.
All right.
So the the Daily Mail is reporting that the police officer that was shot is deceased now.
Oh man.
What? Yeah, I'm looking for the actual. There's a screen cap, so I don't want to send a screen cap. I want to find the actual piece. And they are running the picture that we saw earlier. Again, we're not going to run the picture, but if you want to find the picture, just go to X. There, it's all over the place. But the alleged shooter is dead, and I believe that the police officer has died as well. But again, I haven't been able to confirm that yet. So I do. Was that? Oh, sorry. I do think that there are people that are saying, there are more reports now that he was saying free Palestine, and I don't know. Obviously, we don't have confirmation of anything, and I haven't seen it myself, so I don't want to say that. But is it your sense that these kind of left-leaning it's my sense that there is more left-leaning violence happening now, whether it be the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, the Luigi Mangione guy. There was another one that was the two people that were killed in D.C. Outside of the Jewish History Museum.
Sorry, did you say the Vance Bolter guy? I don't know. I missed it. The guy in Minneapolis who shot the assassinations that just happened a few weeks ago.
I don't know if that was actually left-leaning or not. I don't know. I don't know the
He's a shady figure. It's true.
So I don't know what the political motivations are. I'm only talking about the things that I'm sure of, or that I've heard. But it's my sense that as much as the media wants to say that it's not ever the left and the left is only peaceful and they're et cetera, et cetera, it's my sense that things are getting extremely volatile on the left. They're at a loss for how to organize now, because they had done so much to try to prevent Trump from being elected, and they've done so much to try to push against the right. And nowadays, I really do think that the right is ascendant, because people are really tired of the left. People are tired of the cancellations. People were tired of the woke stuff. People are tired of the LGBTQ lobby trying to assert that you're a bigot for not, validating whatever it is that they say. Is that something that you guys share? I mean, I assume you do, but I'd like your thoughts.
I think the left, their preferred language is violence, and we've seen it all throughout. Lockdowns is a great example, and the George Floyd riots and the Summer of Love. They use violence. I'm sure you heard violent rhetoric towards you for just speaking out about what you spoke out about during lockdowns. We hear it here. Unfortunately, went through all the crazy swattings and stuff for years. That's how they get their policies moved, is through through force.
I think the leadership of the left actually are the enemy of humanity. They don't like the left or the right. And they use kind of like almost like a mind control thing to control their constituents or the people that follow them. You see, a typical right-wing person or a typical Republican has other things in their lives, like family, home, jobs, and everything. But the typical leftists get so bent out of shape over their political position that they are willing to practically fight and kill each other and cancel family members because, like I said, So at the end of the day, it becomes a matter of you have to get back to family. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're in a position that you don't believe family is important, you don't believe marriage is important, you don't believe job is important, then you don't have that much in your life that is important. So at the end of the day, if somebody comes with a political ideology, you're going to jump on the bandwagon. The crazy part about it is that the left supports a lot of things. Like when you see things like gays for Palestine, or it's crazy because they will throw you off the rooftop. So people are like, no, I want. So they are supporting things that they don't have clear ideas about, clear ideologies about. So a lot of people are not educated enough about what they are supporting. And of course, I just believe that they want that kind of mindless following, because a mindless following person can easily become a militant.
So a couple more things about this story, and we're going to move on. First of all, CNN is reporting that the police officer was shot in the back, and he has passed away. And they're reporting that the shooters also passed away from self-inflicted gun wounds. So
there are 3 people shot. 2 civilians, 1 NYPD.
2 civilians shot?
Yeah, 2 civilians, 1 NYPD was the person that is.
Okay.
That's the number of people shot.
And then we've got this from Dan Bongino. FBI New York field office management personnel and agents are responding to provide support at the active crime scene in Manhattan. So the FBI is looking into it. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is actually something that the FBI will have jurisdiction over, but if they're going to support, or it does make sense that they would be supporting the NYPD in any kind of investigation that they're doing. So,
thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.